Welcome to the Wake.Show. As everybody knows, the show needs an intro. This is that intro. I am Fisher, your host, all by myself. Chris McCarty had something come up. He needed the day off. Welcome, everybody, to the Wake.Show. My name is Chris Fisher. Thank you so much for being here. Likes and shares. Wait, is there anybody here? Seth is here. All right, Seth, I got started a little bit late, so why don't you and I'll pipe you in about 5 minutes. All right, we'll get hopefully get some people on the feed here, get going today, get everybody caught up. Good morning, and Chris is not here today. Like and share, by the way, if you could like and share. Chris is not here today. Texted me yesterday and said that something has come up that he needed to take care of. No worries on that. And he should be back. Well, hopefully he's back tomorrow. All right, and also don't forget he'll be out at the Hard Rock this Saturday night I forget all the details on that, but we're all going to head out there and have a good time. So, Steve, how you doing? Nice to see you on the Wake.Show today. We are going to tackle a couple of things, and also this is the we're going to get Eric back on the phone on Friday going into the weekend as I set up for to try this diet. Steve, Seth, I don't know how you guys feel about this. If you guys are doing something or you're fine, you're healthy, you're exactly where you want to be. But I'll start on Monday. I'm feeling pretty good about it right now. You know what? Well, we'll come back. We'll come back to that here in a second. So while I have you guys here, it is I'm excited. Awesome. I didn't read the sarcasm in it at first, Seth. It has definitely hit a low point. But it is weird. Here's the reason I'm doing the show by myself today. I could have messaged a few people that are pros, and if they were available, they easily would have come in. I only called one person. That was Ed Gruby from Events Done Right, and you also may know him from Wild 94.1. Drew has done it and lost over 30. Steve, I'm really excited about this. I'm in the right frame of mind. Diets are not easy for me. Working out is not easy for me. This is a full push for a lifestyle change, and I'm really excited about it. When we talk about it here in a second, one of the things that is a good sign for me is that I can tell that I've already started. Like I said, we're not going to start this thing until Monday, but on next Monday. But on Monday, this past Monday, I loaded in like all the food that I ate into MyFitnessPal, that app, right? That is a huge. You might not mean too much to you, but it's a huge step for me. That's a good sign. Did the same thing yesterday. Now that I think about it, I still have to load in my dinner last night. Here's another good sign. So when I go out to Boulevard, damn it, I'm already getting here. I need to make notes. So. Because I'm going to get off on like 10 tangents and not come back to any of the conversation. So we are going to talk about the keto. All right. I already said I put that up there. The keto and what I ate last night. It's important to the story. Also want to talk about the future of the show. Great comments yesterday. Thank you so much for everybody who chimed in for their thoughts. Yesterday was episode 123. 123. All right, Seth, I'm gonna pull. See, I was getting ready to go off on two tangents, Seth, and then completely forget that I was going to message you in, bring you into the show here. But that's why I set a reminder for myself. So let me do that. Good luck, brother. I understand. I played ball at 195. I need to jump on this with you. Pat Largo, and I almost messaged you. I don't know why I did. It's weird. It's like. I just put in my head I was going to call Ed Gruby. If he couldn't do it, then I was going to put out a mass like, hey, if somebody wants to join me in the show, join me in the show. If that works, it works. If not, then I'll just come in and do it by myself. I don't know why I do that, because I know this is always so much more compelling if Pat Largo is in here or Chris McCarty's in here or if Steve Corbin will be in here. So with that being said, let's bring in Seth. No, not that, Seth. One day, when hopefully soon, I want to. I think that would be a fun show to bring in some of the people that I used to work with. Let's see here. I got to hit that button right there, I believe, and we're going to connect with Seth Mala. Who's Seth? Well, I'll tell you. According to his profile, he's a radio personality and not in the state of Florida. But somebody who's been following along, and I wanted to, he's somebody that messaged me this morning. He's like, hey, man, if I were there, I'd come on your redial. Seth, answer your damn message. All right. I see it. Accept. We're accepting. All right. There we go. How you doing, Seth?
I'm good, man. How about you?
Doing all right. Thank you so much for joining the show. And before we move on, I also want to say thank you so much to Single Source Insurance for their partnership with the Wake.Show. We really appreciate that. And for those of you that are sick and tired of being treated like a number, like a POS from the big boys out there, give them a call, have them give you a quote, and know that when things do go down, they will be there for you. They'll take care of you, okay? Single Source Insurance, SingleSourceINS.com. All right, Seth, welcome to the show. Hi, by the way, my name is Chris Fisher. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Chris, it's a pleasure to meet you. I've heard about your show. I've heard amazing things about you and your behavior.
I don't. Wait, who have you heard this stuff from? How did you learn of the show? Because I can't
divulge my sources,
okay.
Chris. That would be inappropriate. And let me just give you a couple letters. NSA. I just say.
All right. I figured it was probably Johnny Torres because I see you're at a Spirit FM. So if you're at a Spirit,
yeah.
that's a religious based format, right?
Yeah, it's Christian music, and we're out of Lynchburg, Virginia.
All right, so how did you, by the way, because I want to learn more about you, but how did you track down what we're doing here?
You and I met a long, long time ago when I was doing talk radio down in Florida. Remember?
Oh, no. Where'd we meet?
I probably shouldn't mention with your current marital status how we became friends and how we got to know each other, but there was a newscaster that you knew. That was
okay.
A mutual friend of ours.
Okay. That's fine. All right, so
that's all I'm saying.
That's fine. Okay, so we met. You were over at Bay News 9 then, when you were in town.
No, I was doing a talk radio show out of Lakeland, and the crew from Bay News 9 would come over to my studio every once in a while.
I remember now.
Yeah.
Yes, we have met.
I just, when you started up this internet Facebook program, I think it's fascinating. I think it's the absolute right thing for you to be doing. And I like your production. I like the way it looks. You're still ugly, but everything else about it is just awesome.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. Most of all of this has everything to do with the people that are behind the scenes that you don't see. Like as you know, you're in radio yourself, and there's so many people that don't get credit. But Cords Owen, the guy that started this thing, Johnny Torres, Sam Miller, who was here for a few months, and then of course Chris McCarty, who's not here today. But things are exciting, and we are testing today and yesterday, getting connected to a network here, which should help take us to the next level. So we're very excited about that.
Well, that's tremendous, man. I think it's awesome. I'm branching out into video production here for our studio as well. So you gotta branch out. You can't just be on radio. You got to do everything everywhere now in order to be effective.
So you're in Christian radio out of Lynchburg. Is that just a local station? Or are you guys syndicated around the country from where you guys are?
Syndicated around the Southeast. It's a part of a radio group called Positive Alternative Radio, and they've got 5 signals around the Southeast that cover a lot, and it's a pretty interesting group.
So how is Christian radio evolved over the last, say, 5 to 10 years in this digital era? I know that if you go into churches seem to be ahead of the game a lot of the times when it comes to video production and adding music and different elements. Is the same thing happen to radio, or is it pretty traditional?
It depends. This radio group is trying to be cutting edge. Part of the mission statement is to be the standard by which all Christian media is measured, and that's a lofty goal, man. But they take it much more than just playing music and, oh, you're awesome, and the puppy dogs and sprinkles and
my mom puts it, they create the Pollyanna world where everything's just great.
And they're much more about being real about what it is to actually have faith and be a Christian, addressing the real issues that guys like you and I deal with every day and not dancing around it. So it's a really awesome place to be involved.
It seems like there's that trend has gone away from radio. The authentic trend, for the most part, it's nice to see that it's popping up in still some areas in traditional radio, but I think that is something that is a common thread through a lot of these successful podcasts, online streaming, online radio, is a certain amount of authenticity, no matter what you're doing. If you're doing Christian-based stuff and you're doing positive radio, or you're doing the shock, Howard Stern kind of stuff, a certain authenticity. I'm not even trying to say the word again, but being real, keeping it real.
I speak Chris. It's okay. I got you, brother.
Well, listen, man. So do you get back down here? Have you moved up there for good? You just following the radio wind?
It's been an interesting path. If you had a couple, 3 hours, we'd talk about how I ended up here. But I've still got some family down in Florida. So, yeah, I head down there every once in a while when I feel like sweating profusely all the time. But this is home, man. This is going to be home for the rest of my radio career.
Good for you, man. Good for you. It's a great
as
part.
As long as I don't get fired.
Of course.
You don't know anything about that, so
Yeah, I've only been fired 5 times, 4 or 5 times. I lost count. Yeah. And and something I didn't realize until a therapist pointed it out once, that those have an effect on you, and that if you don't deal with it properly, it manifests itself later on in life. So, who knew?
Wait a minute. You're telling me you're not supposed to just repress things constantly and find ways to cover it up and self-medicate? That's not what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, you're not supposed to just tamp it down and then throw liquor on top of it.
Crap, let me write this down.
Yeah, you learn something new every generation.
Life lessons from Chris Fisher. Okay, right. I'll give it a shot.
Hey, Seth, it was a pleasure having you on the show. And if people want to track you down and your show every single day and get a little dose of positivity, how can they do so? Do you go live on your Facebook page, or can they stream you through your radio station website?
Yeah, spiritfm.com, spiritfm.com. And if you want to check me out on Facebook, it's Seth Mila Media on Facebook.
So when you say Spirit FM, are all those spirits related? Is that one there related to the one out of Lakeland here?
No. It's just that whole Christian thing and spirit, that kind of has a mutual name, but no, it's a separate entity.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, man. Thanks for being on the show with me today. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for the invite, brother. I hope to do it again sometime.
Thank you. We'll see you soon.
See you, buddy.
Bye-bye. All right. That was pretty cool too, and I grew up in that faith. We're not going to get up on a religious tangent here, but I grew up in that faith, still heavily influenced. I went through my phase of anger, and hate, and then I got out the other side, and I'm cool. All right, let's hit a couple of these things before we move on. I've been doing low carb. For some reason, I can't wrap my head around all the macros and stuff for keto. This is going to be a challenge. This is definitely going to be a challenge. This isn't just about being a challenge. This is going to be a challenge. Because there are some detailed-oriented things that do not play into my personality. And, actually, today I've got everything rigged up here. So, wait, hold on. We got Roxy there. There you go. You can see yourself when I'm going to the computer now. Because this is not something that plays into my personality. Keeping track of things, food prep, the attention to detail, those kinds of things. And you're right, there is going to be some of that. We're going to have Eric back on the show on Friday, going to the weekend, to kind of get our heads right as we get into Monday, and we'll start this thing on Monday. So we'll get into that here in a second, okay? We'll get into the keto diet. But since all it is, because I'm still need to learn about it, and I probably shouldn't learn everything through Shape Magazine, but I decided to start with one of those resources there to get an overview. I guess we got the overview from Eric on Monday, but get the overview, and you're like, is that your dog just staring at you over your shoulder, wearing a hat? Why, yes, it is. That happens. Yes, that is Roxy. And don't act like you don't love it. Yeah, Fish, we love you. Your dog's cute and all. You just kind of throw it out there a little too much. Do I really? I couldn't bring him in today. I had to give him the day off. They came in Monday and Tuesday. She gets anxious in these car rides, so I let her, she can stay home and pee on the carpet today. Great conversation. That was I didn't know what to expect out of that. That wasn't a planned featured guest for today. That came out of this morning when I realized that that Chris couldn't be here today, And like I said, I was like, man, I'll just throw it out there and see if somebody can join me. And he was like, hey, man, I'd love to, but I'm in another state. Well, let's pipe you in and have a conversation. That was a cool conversation. And I will say, like, I feel like because I knew that he was a Christian radio DJ, I already had made assumptions on the direction that conversation would go or how his personality would be. And I was completely wrong. Completely wrong. I don't know. I thought he might be a little bit more stuffy, choosing his words, but man, sharp with the wit and like a normal human being. Just kidding. Just kidding. People that people of religion. Sorry about that. All right, let's see here. Let's get back to. Hi there. How you doing? Sorry. And I realized that Mr. Mello was your surprise guest for today. Great choice. Hi, Maureen. I can't wait to meet you. I've heard some things about you from Matt Dom, so I'm looking forward to having a conversation with you. All right. So hit the Wake.Pups. Oh, mate, you can follow them on Instagram, Wake.Pups on Instagram. Now let's talk about a couple of things that I've pulled up for today. Oh, no, I'm not even done. We're getting into the keto diet now. All right. We're getting into the discussion about the keto diet. We're going to learn a little bit more about it. I'll tell you why I feel pretty excited, feel pretty good about it, and that is because, like I said on Monday, it is not like me. And after that conversation, I just felt energized with Eric. I knew that I have been setting up for this moment. I knew we were going to do something. It's now, I guess. I didn't plan it this way. Eric was like, hey, all right, we're doing it, and we're doing it now. I'm like, all right. And they are awesome, Maureen. They are awesome. That is a huge breakthrough. It might not mean much to you, so I'm not going to oversell it, but it's a huge breakthrough for me to load in all of my food on Monday afterwards on that app, okay? Did it all day yesterday. Forgot to do it when I got home last night, but here's another great sign coming out of last night because my dinner is at Boulevard Burgers on Tuesday nights on St. Pete Beach. Go out there, do trivia starting at 7 o'clock. I get there early, and I like to get a nice meal, right? Well, they have a lot of great food on that menu, including things that might not be the healthiest thing for you, like this buffalo mac and cheese that is to die for. But if I have it every Tuesday night, I will literally die for it. So last night, they had this great steak sandwich out there. Got it without the bread. Comes with the onions, the peppers, and a slice of provolone cheese over it. No sauce, no A1, no nothing. And it is delicious. I can't believe how good of a piece of meat it is for, just a place on St. Pete Beach. It doesn't specialize in steaks. And then instead, because I love my tater tots or fries, well done, so they're crispy, I got coleslaw instead. So those are positive signs, good signs that as we kick it, we start this keto thing next Monday. And we'll talk to Eric, too, because I know some of you are going to try the keto diet and some of you are more interested in the intermediate or intermittent or whatever it is, fasting, where you don't eat until like this time for the first time, and then you only have an 8-hour window to eat, and that's it, da-da-da-da. So we'll ask if you can do the same thing or you kind of have to pick one when you're doing that. I have a feeling he's going to tell us you can do the keto and that at the same time, but you better eat. I don't know. We'll figure that out. We'll get him back on later on in the week. Hi, Stacy Cords. And thank you so much to Single Source Insurance for being the sponsor of the first 15 minutes of the Wake.Show. I really appreciate that. Once again, Single Source Insurance, if you're sick and tired of being treated like you don't even exist when you have to call your insurance company when you actually need them, give them a call. That's their specialty, is the actual customer service when you need them. That's Single Source Insurance. Go to singlesourceins.com. So Adam, how much weight or where were you? You don't have to throw out all the numbers if you don't want to, but how much weight did you lose? Lost some good weight, he says, doing the intermittent, there we go, not intermediate. Intermittent fasting. And like I said, I pulled up an article from a Shape magazine. So we know what we know, basically, fundamentally, is that the keto diet is very similar to your paleo and your Atkins and this and this and this with a couple of alterations to it. Like the Atkins, if you were like me and you did Atkins back in the late 90s, Well, you didn't have to do it in that time period. If you ever did it, I did it in the late 90s. 3 months, 30-something pounds. But one of the big things coming out of Atkins was that there was no focus on the actual nutrients. It's like just don't eat carbs, basically. If you want to live off of cheese and bacon and pork rinds, knock yourself out. That has evolved, the mentality, because you realize, you're going to lose a lot of weight like that, but you just can't live like that. You have to have, better balance. So anyway, that's where keto is right now. It's different from paleo, because paleo was similar in that it didn't have you keeping track percentage-wise of protein versus fat versus carbohydrates, your macronutrients versus your micro. It basically said, hey, this is what we were all eating 20,000 years ago before we learned how to farm. Go back to only eating that stuff. So then once again, you can end up focusing too much on one food group or another. So the keto diet, from what I understand, is kind of the evolution of that, all of that stuff, and realizing that fat is not bad for us. Certain kind of fats are, but there are good kind of fats, and you need a lot of them. Including the protein, and very low on the carbs. And if we could get rid of all those simple sugars and the flour and this and this and this, and the only carbs we get are from our vegetables and fruits, that would be ideal. So let's go to Shape Magazine now, learn a little bit more about this. Also, for those of you that are going to jump on some kind of a diet, look, we're getting into, we're how many days into June? 6 days into June? I don't even know what day. I nailed it. We're 6 days into June. So this is going to begin, June 11th? Next Monday, June 11th. So you're halfway into the year. And if you're like me, you might have, whatever, that the ideas that you had coming off the holidays on losing weight and getting into shape already fallen by the wayside. So here's another chance for us to kind of get that push and see if we can do it together. So even if you guys if you're not thinking about the keto or intermittent, but you have something else in mind, start it on Monday with us. Go, hey, I'm trying this. I'm doing South Beach, or I don't even know if that's a diet anymore, or whatever it is, and we'll all do this together. We'll support each other no matter what kind of diet you're doing. But we will have on Eric, our nutrition specialist, our expert, going into the weekend on Friday to talk more about it. And then have him on quite a bit, especially in the beginning, and a minimum of once a week as we all right, I nailed it. Did I do it, Carson? I nail it. All right, good. We'll mark that, and we'll have to send that as the promo today. So let's see what comes out of Shape. I tried the keto diet and lost more weight than I expected to, is the headline. Here we go. Oh, wait. Did I pick? I picked the wrong one, didn't I? I picked somebody's personal story. Probably should have prepped this a little bit better. I purposefully didn't want this article is what I didn't want. I didn't want to come across, and I thought in Shape, this will be a simple review of it, but let's go ahead and dive into it. I'm not usually a fan of the prescribed diets. I live by more than done. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Here's what I learned about the keto. You essentially swap a high-carb diet, which most Americans tend to eat, for a diet that's very high in fat, the healthy kinds, moderate in protein, and very low in carbohydrates. The idea is that you change the source from which your body gets its energy and burns calories, from glucose, which is from carbohydrates, to ketones, from fat. This shift doesn't happen after one bulletproof coffee. Does everybody remember what bulletproof coffee is? I learned what bulletproof coffee was on Monday. Oh, I can't wait to try one of those. Bulletproof coffee is coffee with like a stick of butter in it, or half a stick of butter or something like that. But no sugar. I guess that's the key in all this, is that you're like, that's insane. It seems insane to me too, but you get all the caffeine and you get all the fat, but no sugar. And I guess the sugar is that thing that would turn all of that into something horrible in your body. But we'll learn more about bulletproof coffee as we go on. Adam says, the one thing I loved was making zucchini spiral to substitute pasta. I was hesitant at first, but it actually really is really good. Okay, I'll take your word on it. I know that that's one of the things I'll be Googling over the next few days is, not paleo, but keto recipes. One of the things, speaking of recipes, have you guys ever tried making mashed potatoes out of cauliflower. I think it was, mashed potatoes or something like out of cauliflower. That was delicious. Also, buffaloed cauliflower. The buffalo part's probably not the best. I don't know if you've ever had that at a restaurant too, but buffaloed cauliflower is really good too. All right, back to this thing. It usually takes a few days of eating this way for your body to reach ketosis, where it's looking to fat as its source of fuel. Once you're there, though, your body will be burning fat all the time, says Dr. X. It doesn't matter if you're working out or sleeping or what you're doing. Your body continues to burn fat in ketosis. I do remember that from the Atkins diet, that it took 3 or 4 days of feeling icky and headaches and achy. And you're just like, but once you push through, it was like a rebirth or an awakening. Like there was crazy energy after you're able to push through those 3 or 4 days, if I remember correctly. No thanks. We tried it and failed miserably, talking about the cauliflower mashed potatoes. Oh, all right. Well, I loved it. Armed with the 411 and how keto diet works, I felt encouraged and relieved. The concept is rooted in nutrition and weight loss science. And from my initial conversation with Dr. Axe, I like knowing that ketogenic diet's results are always meant to be time-bound. Eating this way is not a lifestyle. That makes sense. You may have heard that the keto diet was ranked last in the U.S. News and World Report's 2018 list of the best and worst diets. While I embarked on this journey before that news came out, I would have given that keto diet a try regardless. Part of the criteria for that ranked list was whether a diet was sustainable and easy to follow. The keto diet is neither. Damn it. Okay, no, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. Normally, this is where I'd be like, all right, there's no way in hell. There's no way I'm going to do this. It's hard and it's complicated. Man, you got to make this stuff simple and easy. Like if you guys have ever done the, the B12 shot and you take the little pseudoephedra or whatever, that phenidrine or whatever that stuff. I don't know if you've ever done one of those diets here in the Bay Area. There's a Dr. Garce. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. See, that's easy. And not complicated. I go to them once a week. They shoot me up with something. I take some vitamins throughout the day. It is hard, but an easy kind of hard. Here's the hard part. Like the first week, if I remember correctly, and I might be getting my days off a little bit, you eat like 700 something ridiculous, like 500 calories a day, like nothing, 500, 400 calories a day, and it has to be meat. So you're basically eating like a chicken breast or something without anything on it, or some slices of like meat throughout the day, deli meat. And then it's still a low carb, if I remember correctly, but whatever, man, you lose a lot of weight quickly. But as soon as you come off that thing, back up you go. Sarah, the keto flu. You're right. That's what they call the keto flu. Those first 3 or 4 days trying to get over that because that's your body. Your body's kind of used to going away. It's almost like a train going, and all of a sudden that fuel you were throwing, you just switched up altogether, and the train's like, wow. And then it has to kind of get back into a new groove of the new energy that you're throwing into it. Pat Largo, I've had the cauliflower those ways. Delicious. Fish, you're beautiful just the way you are. Thank you, Pat Largo. You're right. You're right. I am beautiful. Wait, hold on. I am beautiful just the way I am. Hey, Pat Largo, listen, man, if I'm going to be a rich and powerful, influential, person of the visual media, then I have to get rid of this. This is not accepted in media. Oh wait, I'm an old white guy. I'm sorry. I don't have to. You're right. I don't have to look good. It's everybody else that has to look a certain way. JK, settle down. Now, if you want to get upset because a grown man said JK, that's fine. But don't get upset at the absurdity that that came out of my mouth moments before. Sharon, I have such a hard time believing in diets. I think you should eat all things in moderation and exercise. I eat carbs. I would never give them up. Good, Sharon. You're 100 pounds. Good for you. I'm glad everything's working out for you and your weight. And I mean, if ultimately that's what I will have to do. This is not just about, I want to get down to I'm at 250. Or on Monday, I was 254. This morning, I was 251.6. So just a little changes I've made. I don't know if that's real weight or anything like that. I'm not going to count that. White bread power. But like we were just saying, we'll get back to the article here. The keto diet is hard and it's complicated. But I'm okay with that this time. I feel like I have a different focus. I've got all the right people in place supporting me, pushing me for going, you can do this, buddy. You can do this. I can feel it. We'll see, though. We'll see. All right. Quote, I don't recommend people follow strict ketogenic diets for their life, says Dr. Axe. I recommend a 30 to 90-day period, and after that, moving on to more of a cycling phase where you can cycle in and out of keto. Dr. Axe admits that following a keto diet will be difficult for most people since many Americans have diets high in sugar, salt, and carbs. But he says that the potential benefits, boosting brain health, supporting muscles, and overall improved performance at the gym, at the office, and in life are worth putting in the hard work. All right. That's a positive sign coming from a doctor, allegedly. The prep period. All new habits need planning. Luckily, I had the keto. I tell you what, we'll stop right there. We got, this person goes on and on and on and on and on. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. I see in her diary that she's got day 1, day 2. So I have a feeling she'll be talking about the keto flu in one of these first days. So we'll just hit that before we move on to some of the other things that I have to talk about today. And thank you again for being here and joining the Wake.Show. One hand, this is episode 124, which is a great accomplishment. Thank you so much for all the support, the likes, the shares, the follows. If Facebook is not your thing, you can subscribe to YouTube as well, and we go live there every single day. And we will be we're joining a network like as we speak. So we'll have the details on that official thingy. As soon as I get the go ahead. All right, so day 1 of the keto thing. For those of you who will be joining us starting on Monday, get into this keto diet. You're got to read some stuff yourself. That's what I'm going to do. I wanted to start with Shape Magazine, kind of get a general overview thing. Then I'll start reading get a little bit more into the, I don't know. I doubt I'm digging up scientific papers or anything, but I'll see what I can find. We'll also have Eric back in here on Friday to get us prepped going into the weekend, put ourselves in the right mindset so we're ready to go come Monday morning. Thank you, Maureen. So day 1, she says, it's 8:15 and my stomach is growling. I know it's time for breakfast and I'm depriving it. I blended my protein coffee and ran out the door. My first thought is that the vanilla floor is a nice complement to the vanilla flavor is a nice complement to black coffee. But towards the end of the thermos, I need some more coffee. The thermos. Welcome to the thermos. Hold on, I'm going to write that down. I think that's going to be a good idea for a podcast. Not sure the contents, but it's going to be something. The thermos, I realized that no matter how you dice it, vanilla bone broth protein coffee, is not the same as a vanilla blonde roast with skim milk. Day 2, there's a bagel shop less than a block from my house. I pass it every single day and never really think of it. Well, not today. The smell of freshly baked everything bagels. And was that veggie cream cheese I smelled was wafting out the door as I walked. Oh, yeah, that's another thing for those of you that have never gone down this path. Those first few days. It's like, when you have a breakup. You ever have a breakup and then all of a sudden it seems like every song on the radio is singing to you? Well, when you try to go down one of these keto diets, the low carb, no carb paths, all of a sudden, all the sad songs on the radio start playing all around you. Seems like there's a pizza shop every 5 steps or a bakery every 5 steps or both every 5 steps. No? Oh, so tomorrow, 125th birthday cake? No. Maybe when we get to episode 200. Maybe when we get to episode 200, we do another special show and take it up a notch from the 100th episode. Day 3, I'm tired AF. Like the kind of tired when you're so exhausted you have to use your left arm to lift your right arm. Where am I? Oh. Somehow I pride myself out of bed to work out, only to realize cardio has never been more hardio, so some chill strength training was going to have to do. Nonetheless, feelings of lethargy were to be expected, says Dr. Axe, who says day 2 and 3 were also the hardest for him the first time he tried keto. Everybody is different, he assures me. Some people feel better day 5, others it takes 2 weeks. Like I said earlier, my recollection of doing this, oh my God, it's 20 years ago. It was 3 or 4 days for me. Day 4, grabbing lunch out has been successful thus far today. Some da-da-da-da-da-da. All right. Oh, and I noticed that I've lost a pound already, which is definitely just water weight. Weight loss was not... But yeah, by the way, that was one thing I noticed too, and I know it's different between guys and girls. Guys seem to lose weight quicker than girls, but males and female, men and women. But I remember losing weight very quick, like right off the bat. Like even today, or, just the last 2 days, 3 days of me just kind of getting a different frame of mind so I don't reach for that extra thing that I don't need to be reaching for. I'm already down a couple of pounds since Monday, and I haven't really done anything yet. But I'm also 45, so we'll see. When you're going on these diets when you're 30, it's one thing. Weight loss wasn't all right. Not day 5. As fate would have it, 3 p.m. rolls around and we get a message that there are cookies. Oh, yeah. These are tough days. These are tough days. When somebody brings cookies or donuts into the office. Man, it is not easy. I've been snacking on keto-approved foods like Granny Smith apples. The tart green apples has way less sugar, they say. And full-fat cottage cheese with blueberries. Where have you been all my life, snack? With no real trouble with cravings, but just knowing these cookies, there are cookies that I can't eat, makes me feel like I'm being cheated. Day 6, when I thought back to what I ate, I realized that between my salad and my lamb, you know what? This just gave me an idea. I'm going to do something. I need to do something like this too. I know there's already some of you that are going to do this with me. Go down this path, go down this journey or with me, either doing your own diet or following along. So yeah, we'll do the same thing. Day 1 will be on Monday, and it'll either be a post on the Wake.Show Facebook page and or, on the website, which is the Wake.Show. So, I'll do the same thing. I kind of keep a log. That's going to help me out too, I think, in order, for success, is to write a little something down in the diary every single day. If I cheat, write it down there, and not feel shame. Just feel like, all right, you're right. You won this. I cheated. You got me. Let's go. We're not because in those moments, and I know you guys, so many of you can relate too, because in those times you're like, man, I had that. I was doing so well, and then this happened. This weekend happened, and you feel like it was all for naught. And well, I guess I'll try again come New Year's. One of those kinds of things. So allow myself to trip along the way in the beginning. And but feel pretty confident that we'll get through this. After Vegas, July, I'm going to try the keto diet. Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean by no 100. So what you're saying is no 125th celebratory cake. Right, unless it's made out of chicken. Or if it's made out of cottage cheese and blueberries. High-fat cottage cheese, none of that low-fat stuff. I got a couple of issues, you guys, if you guys are down for talking about a couple things before we... I'll let you go get back to work. 2 things. All right, 2 things here. One is the editorial coming out of the Tampa Bay Times after the ruling, the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling in favor of a Colorado baker who refused to create a wedding cake for a gay couple is a step backward in the cause for equal rights and an invitation to those who would discriminate to bring more test cases before the courts. Still, the majority opinion by Justice Anthony Kennedy was a painstaking effort to balance same-sex rights, free speech, and religious freedom. It is written narrowly and focuses on the specifics of the baker's treatment at the state level, and it assures debate over gay rights will continue to play out in the courts and in the nation's political dialogue. I'll start. What do you guys think? I know this has been in the news for a day. This is the editorial that came out yesterday in the St. Pete Times, or the Tampa Bay Times. All right, I'll start here. Would I have been very okay if this had gone the other way? Yes, I would have. When I think about America, and really think about America and what America stands for, what we stand for, what do we stand for, what does freedom truly mean? Because we're not truly free. You can't just do whatever you want, okay? So to say that we are free, it's relative to our ancestors and to other parts of the world. But we are still a land of laws and, in certain rules and you have to we all have to be kind of on the same page. If we're not on the same page, we need to all be in the same book. Well, I guess that's what the Constitution is. So there we go. Here, I want equality. I want love. I want all that stuff. I wish this wasn't even an issue. That being said, I also do think it's important that we are free even to make the I don't know. Okay. See this, I've been in this place for a long time. I'll just throw it out there. I'm hemming and hawing because I don't want it to come off a certain way. I have for a long time. How free should we be? Should we be free enough? Like this is what the court basically ruled this time, is we're free enough so that if a business has a certain religious view, whatever your view is, come to America, you can have your view here. But at the same time, we draw lines. We draw distinctions. So you don't have the religious freedom to come here, and I'm going to be a little gross here. I apologize if you're eating something right now. You don't have the religious freedom to come here. If where you come from, it is customary to cut the clit out of the young girls for whatever religious reason. You can't do that here in America. All right, so we've drawn a line there. You can cut off the foreskin of a boy's penis. We draw the line at the clitoris of a girl's vagina. So then I guess it's just about where that line goes. Where that line goes. The compassionate wants everybody to get along human in me. Like I said, I wouldn't be upset if the law went the other way, because the law to me would be forcing people to be more diverse, more open-minded, less but it's not going to change. It's not going to change their viewpoint. So anyway, so there's a part of me that thinks we live in a time where we shouldn't go after these places that discriminate. At a certain level, and let the people, because I believe we live in a time where that store may pay a price. I don't know, but then it'll get backed up by the people that think. I don't know. There's a part of me that says, listen, if we're going to be free, let us be free. Let this stuff play out. We can't control everything at the government level. We can't make everybody always play nice at the government level. We have to kind of draw certain basic fundamental rules and laws and kind of let it play out, even some of the ugliness play out. But at the same time, this liberal democracy that the Constitution sets up, for some people, they feel like it's very fundamental. Like, you go line by line, that's what it says, da-da-da-da-da, and there is certain truth to that. But to me, what that sets up is, if you don't, I'm going to draw a metaphor here, a metaphor. It's like all those rules in the Constitution set up like this blank canvas. All right, a blank canvas, but with borders, okay, with boundaries on that canvas. And then within those, just like any canvas. And then you can paint, you're basically democracy and the American experiment is relative. It'll change slightly, as it goes on, generation to generation, as well it should. And so for me to say you can't do that. If you're going to have a business here in America, you're not going to discriminate based on this, and this. I said. So I don't know. Where are you guys on this? Great explanation. All right. I totally agree with you, Sharon, Ian. Totally agree with what? That you can see both sides of the issue and you're wishy-washy too? You're not coming down on one side or the other? Sharon, that does not sound like you. So, but here we are right now, and that's what the Supreme Court has ruled. Your thoughts? Should the Supreme Court have ruled the other way, and said no, you're not going to if you're going to come to America, you're going to have certain freedoms, but one of those freedoms you're not going to have is going to be discriminating against people based on certain things. But on the other hand, this country was founded on the freedom of, religion is such a huge, and I'm not even a religious man anymore, but I respect that is such a huge, well, I benefit from this religious experiment, not being religious, because if I lived in another time or place, and I'm another time or another place right now, currently in this time, and I'm staring into a camera every day and saying, I don't believe in this and I don't believe in that, well, I'd be dead. Boom. So I benefit from this too. And that's why I do want to make sure that religion, and I know how it can get out of control and I understand the downs. Listen, institutionalized anything can get out of it. Needs to be checked. All right. We'll just leave it there for now. Whether you're talking the financial world, universities, religion, charities, entertainment, media. So there. I guess that's where we are with that. You guys aren't too fired up about it, one way or another, it seems anyway. So, lastly, I don't know if this bothered you guys or not when this happened. This has been a year now. Voters recall California judge who sentenced Brock Turner. Does that ring a bell? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? By the way, I'm not trying to, make you feel like you should know this. Not everybody would know the story. It was a pretty big one, though. This is the Stanford University swimmer who was sentenced to 6 months in jail after being convicted of 3 felonies and a sexual assault on a California woman. It was found out during that this judge also went to the same college. I don't remember if he was in the same fraternity or not, or if it was just the same college. And this woman was passed out next to a garbage dumpster. He finds her, lifts her skirt up, and sexually assaults her. Is found guilty of 3 felonies. And this guy here said 6 months should do, buddy. You should learn your lesson after 6 months. It was a very sad day for justice in America. I think most people agreed. Well, the California voters have recalled this person. California voters on Tuesday backed the recall of the judge who sentenced a former Stanford University swimmer to 6 months in jail for sexually assaulting an unconscious woman behind a campus dumpster, a sentence blasted by critics for being far too lenient. Judge Aaron Persky of State Superior Court has said he was following the rule of law, not the rule of public opinion, when he imposed the 6-month jail term on Brock Turner, then 20 in 2016. But in the eyes of many critics, the judge had seemed to discount the seriousness of campus sexual assault and the pain of the victim. With 61% of the Turner was convicted of 3 felonies. 2 for digitally penetrating an unconscious or intoxicated person, 1 for assault with intent to commit to rape. Prosecutors pushed for a 6-year sentence in the state prison, but Persky followed the county probation department recommendation of just 6 months in jail. Turner was released after receiving 3 months for good behavior. He raped an unconscious girl behind a dumpster, and he got 3 months. And you guys may remember the story because there was a lot of talk about white privilege around this time, a lot of talk. And it seems like cronyism to me. It seems like this judge. So you got to remember something too. You guys also might recall the discussions that were being had on the radio and cable television about the time, and how much focus is put on the action of the girl and how much she's responsible. And I have a feeling this guy is somebody who feels like, well, he was there. He was there at Stanford. He knows how the drunk girls get. Probably deserves some of this. And, listen, lesson learned for both of them. You get 6 months. You learn not to get drunk and pass out next to a dumpster, and we all move on with our lives. He is no longer employed. The recall campaign was spearheaded by Michelle Dauber, a friend of Stanford Law School, or a professor at law school, who says she is a family friend of the victim known as Emily Doe. Emily Doe, who has kept her identity private, has not spoken publicly about the recall effort, but in an essay for Glamour in November of 2016, she wrote, "When we all make it a priority to avoid harming or violating another human being, and when we hold accountable those who do, when the campaign to recall this judge declares that survivors deserve better, then we are going somewhere." Well, it looks like we're going somewhere. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the Wake.Show today. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Thank you for the engagement, the interaction. Chris McCarty will be back tomorrow. I cannot do this without you and without the comments. We really appreciate that. Thank you to Cords Owen, Bake More Pies, and everybody behind the scenes that makes this possible. Brett, if she was murdered behind a dumpster, would her murderer get a lighter sentence? I don't know. I still don't feel like justice was served, though. This guy is pulled off the bench. He's not pulled off the bench. There was no reprimand. He was voted off. The voters recalled him. And I'm sure he'll find something somewhere. You're right. The answer is no. And Maureen, it was a pleasure. I will talk to you soon. All right. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And tonight, if you're in downtown St. Pete, I will be hosting karaoke from 8 until midnight at Park and Rec, downtown St. Pete from 8 until midnight every Wednesday night. Thank you and have a great day.